You can now ask questions because this is the purpose of this room.
You are doing nothing on this?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Which we are. And I'm happy to announce here today that after the meeting and the visits, which concluded yesterday, they were very quite happy that as a country we are doing very well. And remember, they came from Uganda. They came here yesterday, and they will be able to do a similar inspection also in Tanzania. So basically, we are doing very well as a country. What came up in our discussion yesterday is that other than the fields that they required, which were 3 earlier, they have now decided that we should have 4 training grounds. And like we knew as a ministry, we had already earmarked to ensure that at Talanta Stadium, which is the main host of AFCON, we have 4 training grounds, already 3 within the ecosystem. And we are now going to include Ulinzi as a training ground for purposes of the referees, because that is a new requirement that they gave us. Then this Nyayo will be a training ground also, and as well as a main field when it comes to Chan. In Kasarani, we have also earmarked to have the training grounds that we had developed earlier. We just want to improve them so that they are quite ready for the same come 2027. So when you look at Kasarani and you look at this place, it is almost, we are at around 35% completion rate in most of the areas. And we have been promised that come December 2025, all the fields will be ready as required. And then, of course, there is another main training facility in Eldoret that we will be using also for AFCON. We have identified 4 training facilities in the same area which we are going to undertake the renovation. And like I told you earlier, we are not going to rush the training grounds. What we must do first in the main stadia that have already been identified. So generally, we are on top of things as a country, and therefore we don't have any cause for an alarm. The inspection team were happy that we are on course. Now we have come up with a program that they are going to send to us after the discussions that we had from Friday to yesterday. And in that program, it would be like a checklist on what we've agreed upon so that we have a follow-up periodically as we proceed. So generally, that is why we are here today. And like I said, I have my SA who was with this team yesterday. I was with them on Friday. I was with them on Saturday. The DG and the SA were with them the whole of that period up to this morning. So we are good and we are happy that as government we've been able to undertake this infrastructure development seriously.
When PS, of course, Chan is almost 2 months, barely 2 months away. Have you already maybe earmarked the venues that will host Chan?
In fact, Chan is already taken care of in terms of preparation. This field we are stepping on at the moment, this is Nyayo Stadium, will be ready in a month's time. We only have 2 weeks for them to complete. Before we came to address you people, we've done an inspection of what we had been given in terms of the requirements. And let me promise you, even if Chan was to be held next month or the month after that, we are quite ready. But I'm not very sure that Chan will be there next month because they are still looking at the logistical issues to be able to ensure that they give us a very good date. But as a country, we are prepared. In the next 2 weeks, the contractor that is here will have finished the preparation for purposes of Chan.
Of course, you've been at Kasarani. How far is it in terms of percentage?
In Kasarani, the expected period of completion is the end of this year. But when we had discussions, they have put in place a mechanism to ensure that they have 2 shifts. Although they are at around 40% now, we know that they are going to complete by that time. What was remaining and is very, very key is the aspect of the roof. And we have done discussions and we have agreed on how they are going to ensure that the manufacture of the same is within that time frame.
For Nyayo, what are some of the areas that you've been working on to ensure certification by CAF?
My technical team have a list that CAF gave us, and I think at your own time you can be able to have a look at it. And that's the reason why we are talking of 2 weeks remaining, because the changing rooms are some of the key issues that they wanted us to do. The media center changing from level 2 to level 3, and that kind of thing. So there is a raft of things that they had demanded, and like I told you earlier, we are quite good in terms of that preparation. And let me tell you, I want to tell Wananchi that this government is focused to ensure that when we promise that we are going to host AFCON, we must prepare accordingly. When we promise that we are going to host Chan, we said we must prepare accordingly. If you look at this field, and this is the first thing that we looked at with the team that came. When they looked at it, they said it is one of the best fields, right? The grass itself, the way it has been maintained and everything else is quite good. And remember, we had closed this place for us to ensure that we are ready for any qualifier matches that we needed to play, for any assignment that CAF will be able to give us. They are quite happy.
Yes, are we likely to get an approval before our teams, Gor Mahia and Police FC, play in their CAF engagements, as well as Harambee Stars in September?
Yes. The reason being that we discussed that at length, and when we visited this place, one of the promises they told us is that if we moved with the speed that we are already taking, approval is almost guaranteed. So we are very positive that approval will be gotten, and we'll have to have the qualifiers played in Nyayo.
PS, now, besides now the venue, just like a soundbite for you in terms of Team Kenya for Olympics, what is your message?
Oh, wow. In fact, that is a very good question. You know, we've been preparing for the Olympics like never before. And let me tell you, my friends, you know, when you look at Team Kenya contingent of athletes that we have gotten that are going to France, the number of gold medals, I can assure you, will be very high. Reason being, number one, is the kind of training that we've given this team, the motivation that we've been able to give. And you remember the other day, His Excellency the President announced that we should be able to give the new rates to the athletes, the kits that we have been able to prepare for them, and which went through a complete array of, vetting and that kind of thing. And then we ensured this time that the young generation was responsible for the production of those kits. The motivation is an all-time high. And therefore, when I look at that from the point of view of the preparation that we've given to the teams, we expect good returns from Paris.
What is your rallying call to Kenyans?
I want the Kenyans to, and by the way, the other thing that you should also be able to know is that as a ministry, we have enabled, as one government approach, we have enabled KBC to be able to broadcast these live. And of course, the media houses that we have also given accreditation for this. So I want Kenyans, those who are able to travel on their own, please, karibu sana Paris. But if you are not able to, for one reason or the other, be glued on your TVs. Because for the first time, this time round, having looked at the literature that happened before, we are very well prepared. And we expect good results this time round. So I want to tell Kenyans, mujipange, mukuje watch Kenya doing exploits in Paris for the first time.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I understand.